Well, happy Monday morning to everybody. Hope you had a nice weekend, whatever you were doing. We're ready to start a new week. We're ready to start a new day in the replay. We're now on May 29th. It's game number 313 on the total replay, and we're at Yankee Stadium for the Oakland A's and the New York Yankees. Yankee Stadium singles are 1-7, both left and right. Home runs are 9 for lefties and 8 for righties. Coming into this game, we got two first-place teams. We got the 26-19 Oakland A's against the 30-16 New York Yankees. Hello, Dr. D. So hopefully it's a good matchup. We shall see. Not the best pitching matchup in the world, just from a standpoint of name recognition, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, two good pitchers in the replay anyway. Kurt Young, a left-hander for the Oakland A's, was 13-7 with a 4.08 ERA real world. Right now he's 5-3 on the replay. Dennis Rasmussen, another left-hander, 9-7 with a 4.75 ERA. He is 2-2 on the replay. Some moves by the Yankees. There have been some player moves. They have either sent down or injured or put on the disabled list, whatever. Two relief pitchers, Pat Clements, a lefty, and Cecilio Guante, a righty, are no longer on the team right now. They're not active. Rich Bordy has been called up for the Yankees, and Ron Guidry has come off injury. He will be on the team. And more importantly, maybe, Bobby Meacham has been called up. So we have a backup shortstop now. So if we want to pinch it for Tollison, we have a backup shortstop. So Bobby Meacham finally comes up from Columbus and is able to take over at short if we want to pinch it for Tollison. So that's an important part right there. Of course, got to have the coffee. That's kind of standard, kind of hard not to do it without that, at least for me anyway. Some people can do it, but in the morning, if I'm like Strat-O-Matic in the morning, I prefer to have coffee. I'll just put it that way. All right, so Dennis Rasmussen finishing up the warm-up tosses. And I do have the game up on the Strat-O-Matic computer, so I can get you the full stats for Rasmussen. Again, he had a 4.75 ERA real world. In the replay, he's 2-2 with a 4.12 ERA, 55 innings pitched, 48 hits, 18 walks, and 41 strikeouts. And with the lefty on the mound for the Yankees, no Reggie Jackson. Ron Cey is at DH for the Oakland A's because of the righty on the mound. And with the lefty on the mound. And with Oakland using a lefty, Ron Kittle is your DH for the Yankees. So they're both managers playing the percentages. Tony La Russa and Lou Piniella both playing the platoon advantage. Hello, P. Madoff. Good to see you. All right, so Tony Phillips will lead things off. He's playing second base in this one. Usually they have Polonia leading off, but with a lefty on the mound, they drop Polonia to the 9 spot, which is kind of a pseudo leadoff hitter for in a lot of ways. So he's down there, and Phillips is up there. So Phillips is hitting 242 on the replay, 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 240 real world. And we're underway for the May 29th block. 4-7, first game of that block. 4-7. Switch hitter Phillips batting right-handed. A 1 is a double. Anything else he flies to left. So he'll fly it out to left field, and Gary Ward will make the catch. One also note is that Ricky Henderson is back in center field. He had been DHing for quite a bit, but he's back in center field today. So the Yankees kind of have their normal outfield out there. If a righty's on the mound, they probably have Dan Pasco, but with a lefty, they're going to use Gary Ward. And the score sheet is bugging me like crazy, this cheapo tape. Don't ever buy this tape, folks. I certainly won't buy it anymore, that's for sure. But if you go to your local dollar store, do not buy this tape. It sucks. It's not even worth $1. I'll put it that way. It's just terrible. It won't hold anything down. Lesson learned. Be cheap, and that's what happens to you. All right, here's Alfredo Griffin. He is hitting 290. He's hitting 255 on the replay. No homers, 9 driven in. He hit 263 in the real season. Whoop, that red die didn't go through, so we're going to re-roll this. Got popped right out. How about that? All right, we got a 4-5. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Oh, that's trouble for Rasmussen. 1-6 is a home run. That's a 19 or 9, either way you look at it. Didn't matter. It's going to be a double. He had weak power, so it would not have been a home run anyway. It would have been a single, but as he got the higher number, he actually gets the benefit of the double. So Alfredo Griffin with a 1-out double. puts him in first at scoring position with good speed. And here comes Jose Canseco. Canseco on the replay is hitting 291, 11 homers, 31 driven in. He hit 257 real world. And here is the first havoc roll of the game. And nothing happening there. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. 2-4. Split chance. 1-3 is a single. That's a 10. He's going to line it right to Tollison for out number 2. So 2 down. Now it's a clutch situation for Mark McGwire. I gave him the thumbnail, hoping that would give him some good karma. This was pre-steroids for Mark McGwire. He nowhere near as big in that picture as he is later in life. McGwire on the replay hitting 264, 11 homers, 26 driven in. Real season, he hit 289. So clutch situation in the clutch for a McGwire against a left-handed pitcher. He loses a hit on 312. Everywhere else, he's the same. That's a 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Rasmussen. First strikeout for Rasmussen, and that will end the inning. So Oakland gets the double, but nothing else. We go to the bottom of the first. Oakland nothing. Yankees coming to bat. Kurt Young, a left-hander, 13-7 with a 4.08 ERA real world. On the replay, he's 5-3 with a 3.61 ERA, 62 innings pitched, 52 hits, 17 walks, and 35 strikeouts. And back in the outfield, in center field, is going to be Rickey Henderson. And Henderson on the replay hitting 322, 8 homers, and 26 driven in. And in the real world, he hit 291. So he's doing, obviously better than that. Hello, Tim. Good to see you. Rickey Henderson to lead it off. 6-4, and that's a ballpark blast. In Yankee Stadium, a right-hander needs a 1-8. That's a 3, and it's gone. And Rickey does what Rickey does a lot. Leads off the game with a home run. Look at it again, 6-4. Ballpark blast on the 6-4. Yankee Stadium home runs 1-8, and the double dies a 3. So Rickey leads off with the home run. Rickey didn't lose that number. He got it. He had Kurt Young's number for sure, and that's home run number 9 for Rickey Henderson. RBI number 27. Yankees take a 1-0 lead right out of the box. And that's what Rickey can do. That's why he's the best leadoff hitter of all time. Here's Willie Randolph. Randolph is hitting 283, a homer and 18 driven in. He hit 305 real world. 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Phillips. He's a 4.21. Not all that great. Double dies a 9. He should still be able to get around that, though, I would think, with a 9, but we'll double check it. 4 and a 9 is a G3. There's a pound sign, but nobody's on base, so no worries there. That's an 8, and he's an E21. E21, there's 4, 13, and 17, but no 8. So Phillips will throw out Randolph for 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Donnie Baseball. On the replay, Mattingly hitting 297, 9 homers, 30 driven in, but he's underperforming. He hit 327 real world, so he needs to pick it up. 2-6, and he will right here with a base hit. So single for Don Mattingly. That was off the lefty. I'm sorry, I was looking at the right side. Yeah, it's still going to be a single because it's a double and a 1 and a 2-20 on a single. So I got to be careful. Make sure I look at the blue side for the Yankees on both. Actually, the blue side on both sides because it's left-handed pitchers. Got to be careful about that. Mattingly will not be held, obviously. And here's Dave Winfield, Mr. May, while we're still in May. And Winfield hitting 256 on the replay, 8 homers, 26 driven in. He hit 275 in the real season. Hello, Dev. Good to see you. Or Devils, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Let's see, 1-8, and that is a walk. So Winfield will draw the base on balls. First and second now with 1 out. 1 already in on the leadoff homer by Rickey, and here's Gary Ward. Ward hitting 231 on the replay, 5 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 248 real world. And Young looking for a double play, perhaps. 6-8. Won't get it here. 1-2 is a triple. 3-20 is a single. It's a single 2 stars. That'll score a run. Mattingly comes around from second and will score to make it 2-0 Yankees. Winfield motors to third. Runners are at the corners. Yankees lead it 2-0. Kurt Young, an early predicament here by the A's. That brings up Ron Kittle, the designated hitter. They're looking perhaps for a double play out of him. I don't know. Ron Kittle hitting .324 on the replay, 6 homers, 19 driven in. He hit .277 real world. Nothing on the Havoc. Here's Kittle, 6'3". It's a ground ball. Pitcher X, Kurt Young, is a 3E7. It's got the E7 here. The card doesn't have his range, but the computer has it. He's a 3E7 for Kurt Young. 3 and a 17. 3 and a 17. Oops, where do we go here? 3 and a 17 is a G1. That's an 11. He's an E7. There is no 11. So G1. G1, where are you? Here you are. G1. Runners at first and third. It's a double play. 1-4-3 double play. They get that double play. That's what they were looking for. And that will end the inning. But the Yankees do get two. One on the Ricky Henderson leadoff homer and the other on a Gary Ward RBI single. And at the end of one, it is Yankees 2 and Oakland nothing. But it could have been a lot worse for Kurt Young. He did get that double play grounder. And that kind of saved his bacon a little bit. Keeps the Yankees from getting a real big inning. Go to the top of the second, and with the left-hander Rasmussen on the mound, Reggie Jackson is on the bench for this game. And the veteran Ron Say will be the designated hitter in this one for Oakland. Hello, Mr. Jeff. Good to see you. And hello, Jeremiah. Good to see all of you. Colin. Hope you're having a good Monday. And, of course, can't go without this. That's standard operating procedures. You got to have the coffee. And that is good coffee. All right, so Ron Say on the replay struggling, hitting only 156, 2 homers, 3 driven in. He hit .221 real world. 6'4", and that's a ground ball third base. Actually, looking at Len Sakata. He's a 3E34 for Len Sakata. 3 and a 9 should be okay. 3 and a 9 is a G3. That is an 11. I'm sorry, it's a 10, so there's usually not many errors on 10s. He's an E34. There is no 10. There's 6, 9, 12, 15, but no 10. So Len Sakata will throw out Ron Say for out number 1. 1 away, and that's going to send us to Carney Lansford, third baseman. Oh, hey, World's Worst. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is doing with this @ sign. It's I don't know if it's on other people's channels or not, but on this one, recently it started doing that. I guess it's something YouTube is doing. I have no control over it. I have no idea why it's doing that. Your guess, if you can figure it out, and somebody can figure it out, let me know. I'll be more than happy to fix anything on my settings that would fix that if there's a way to do it. All right, so Carney Lansford hitting .283 on the replay, 6 homers and 29 driven in. He hit .309. I'm sorry, he hit .289 real world. So the .283 is pretty much right in line. 4-12, and that's a line out to third base, and Sakata will make the play again. 2 down. And that will take us to Mike Davis. Usually it's higher in the order, but with the lefty on the mound, they dropped him to the number 7 position. Let's see here. Hitting .315 on the replay, 11 homers, 28 driven in. He hit .285 real world. I'm sorry, .265 real world. So he's doing more. He's doing really, really well, hitting .315. 6-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. Willie Randolph's a 2E17. You think he would make the play. 2 and 19, he's definitely going to get there. That's a 9, and he's an E17. There's a 6 and a 15, but no 9. So Willie Randolph makes the play, and Dennis Rasmussen a 1-2-3 inning. So that's going to do it. We go to the bottom of the second, still 2-0 favor of the Yankees. Good morning, Dan. Good to see you. And for those that came in after I started, because I mentioned this early on when I first got on, Yankees made some moves in real world on the roster, so we're going to follow those along. Cecilio Guante and Pat Clements are not on the roster. Rich Bordy was called up. Ron Guidry came off injury, and Bobby Meacham has been added from Columbus. So we finally have a backup shortstop for Tollison now if we want to pinch it for Tollison. we have Bobby Meacham available, at least for a little while, until George Steinbrenner figures it's time to send him back down. He's going to come up here and be able to play shortstop. So let's see if we can take advantage of that. All right, so Kurt Young going to try to have a better second inning than he did in the first. And Len Sakata, who's the platoon player with Pagliarulo, when they face a lefty, they bench Pagliarulo, put Sakata in there, at least early on in the season. He only had 45 at-bats. In the replay, he's had 38 at-bats, so he's getting near the end of his time, I do believe. On the replay, he's hitting 211, no homers, 4 driven in. As you can see, at 267, 2 homers, 4 driven in the real season. 2-9 for Sakata, grounds it right back to Kurt Young, and that's 1 away. And that'll bring up the catcher, Rick Cerrone. Cerrone on the replay hitting 254, 2 homers, 11 driven in. He at 243 real world. 3-9, and he's going to get a solid single for Rick Cerrone. 1 out single. And that will bring up Mr. Tollison. Tollison is hitting 191 on the replay. 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 221 real world. Cerrone at first, not being held. And coming around from the right side this time as a switcher, you bat right-handed. 6-5, and that's a ground ball second base C, so that will move Cerrone to second base, but now there are 2 outs. And it's going to take a 2-out hit by Ricky to get him home. Ricky led off the game with this home run, 9th of the season in the replay, his first time up. Hello, Kathy. Good to see you. So, clutch situation for Ricky against lefties in the clutch. He loses a couple of hits, one on 2-5 and 2-6, and one on 1-3. So, anti-clutch for Ricky. 3-7, and he's going to draw a base on balls. So, Ricky does 2 things he always does: hits home runs and walks. That's why he's the best leadoff hitter of all time. And steals the bases, which he hasn't done yet. That's the third leg of the stool, but he hasn't done that yet. Here's Willie Randolph, first and second now with 2 outs. And in the clutch for Randolph, he gains a hit on 1-3. 6-11, and that's a ground ball first base X. We're looking at McGuire. He's a 3-12 for McGuire. 3-4, that's trouble. 3-4. He was not holding a runner at first base, so that might help him. No, it's not going to help him at all. 3-4 is a single, but it's only 1 star. That's a 9, and he is an E12. There's a 9 right there. So McGuire, not only is it an infield single, but McGuire boots it trying to hurry and make the play. So it's going to be a single plus an error, and that will score a run, making it Yankees 3. No RBI given on this because of the error. So it's a single plus an E3 on McGuire. Ricky will go to third on that error. Cerrone will score. And the Oakland A's, maybe the time change, I don't know, coming from West Coast to East Coast is affecting them. But McGuire just simply took his eyes off of it. 3-0 Yankees, and here comes Donnie Baseball in the clutch for Mattingly. He will gain a hit on 3-10. That's his only, and also 2-2. So we got 2 spots. He gains hits. Lefty on lefty matchup. He singled and scored his first time up. 6-6. He's going to pop it up to McGuire this time to end the inning. So an unearned run comes in for the Yankees, but they'll take it. At the end of 2, it's New York 3 and the Oakland A's nothing. And enjoying these runs are Dennis Rasmussen. He'll be facing Steinbach, Polonia, and Phillips due up here in the 3rd for the Oakland A's. Steinbach on the replay hitting 289, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He at 284 real world. 3-7, and that is a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Rasmussen. That'll bring up the 9-hitter, Luis Polonia, center fielder. Polonia hitting 256 on the replay, 1 homer, 3 driven in, and he hit 287 real world. 1-9, and that's a ground ball to first. Mattingly will take it to the bag himself. 2 down. 2 up and 2 down. Back to the top of the order for Tony Phillips. Phillips flew to left field his first time up. 4-6. Switch hitter batting right-handed. 4-6. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a double. That's a triple for Tony Phillips. Phillips had no triples in the real season, so we're going to make him have a double. We're going to reduce that to a double since he had no triples real world. That's what the Strat-O-Matic computer does in the super advanced settings. Is it takes the guys who would not normally get a triple and changes it to a double. And since he had no triples real world, we're not going to let him have a triple here. Don't think it's going to matter because he's in scoring position anyway. But that's just kind of a rule I follow. If they had no triples, we don't allow it. So here's Alfredo Griffin. In the clutch, Griffin did double his first time up. In the clutch, Griffin is going to get 1 hit on 311. Everything else is neutral. 211, he missed it by 1, but it's a ballpark single check. So he might get something out of that. 1-7, and the devil dies a 1. Of course he got something out of that. Now this makes a difference because if he had gotten the triple, this single would have scored him, but it didn't happen. So, and it's not a Yankee thing. It's just the way it is. That's the way the rule. That's the way I play it with the rules. If he doesn't get a triple real world, I'm not giving him 1 here, just like the computer would do. Some people say give him the triple, but that's not how I'm playing it. And that's across the board, not just for this game. All right, so Alfredo Griffin has a chance to get a good lead here. We haven't even talked about the pitcher-catcher hold thing. Rasmussen's a +2. He's a +3, and Cerrone's a -1. So if Griffin gets the lead, he's got a 1-15 chance to steal. So he's going to try for the lead. He can get the lead on anything other than an 11 or a 12. And he gets the lead, so he's going to go. He's a 1-15. Beating Hell's a 13, but the +2 brings it back to a 15. 1-15, the T rating on Cerrone's only a 2, so the risk to throw down is not too bad. And he's in there. Stolen base for Griffin. And now Canseco, with a base hit, would score 2 runs, most likely. First base is open, but you're not going to put the tying run on base intentionally, I don't believe. Canseco lined out to short his first time up. And let's see, in the clutch here, he gains a hit on 110. Everywhere else, he is neutral. But he's got a very juicy column 3. 3-5 and 3-6 are solid home runs. That's a 2-9, though, and he's going to hit a ground ball to Tollison at short. And the Yankees get out of the inning unscathed. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 3-0 Yankees, as Dennis Rasmussen pitches around the mess. Yeah, Tribe, it's clearly, I mean, I got that from the computer because the computer, when you put max rules, it does limit that, and I agree with it. If he didn't get a triple, why give it to him off the pitcher's card if he didn't earn one? I mean, suppose that had been Ron Say out there with an 8 speed. I mean, maybe I modify it and say if their speed is a certain amount, we give them the triple, but I've kind of just played it from the beginning that, and I don't want to change it mid-season. We're going to keep the rule the same all season long, that if the guy had no triples, if he even had 1 triple, even if he's got 4 in the replay, I'll give him the triple. But if he had 0 triples to start, no, you're not getting a triple. So there's a lot of things actually that would be good for the rule book, but that's a whole nother story for a different day. All right, so here's Mr. May, Dave Winfield. He drew a base on balls his first time up. Hello, Joel. Good to see you. 4-5, and that's going to be a pop-up to second baseman Phillips for out number 1. So Winfield doing Winfield things, getting outs. Here's Gary Ward. RBI single his first time up. 4-7, and he's going to ground it to second, so Phillips gets another chance. He's a 4-E21. 4-14, he should get to that, and he will get to that. 4-14 is a G3, or actually a G2. That's an 8, and he's an E21. And E21, there is no 8. There's a 4, 13, and 17. So Phillips will make the play. 2 up and 2 down. And that's going to bring up Ron Paul Kittle. 2-7 for Kittle, and that's a single. It's anti-clutch, but nobody's on base, so the single will stand. 2-out single for Ron Kittle. Sixth hit for the Yankees here after 3 innings, but now they're going to try to get some more. Here's Len Sakata. Of course, Kittle not being held. Sakata, he grounded right back to Kurt Young his first time up. 6-11. It's a ground ball to first base X. We're checking McGuire. McGuire was not holding the runner on, so he's going to keep his 3E12 rating. 3-16. 3-16 is a G1, and that's a 12, and he is an E12. 12-12. And there's no error there, so that's going to be a 3-1 ground out as McGuire will flip to Kurt Young covering to end the inning. So we played 3 innings here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees lead it 3-0 over the Oakland A's. And it's time for more coffee. Got to have it. Here's Dennis Rasmussen. His fatigue is the 5th inning, so he's still got 2 more innings to go before he has to worry about that. And McGuire gave him the thumbnail thinking it would give him some karma, but so far he's committed an error and he struck out. So hasn't worked so far. 1-8, but this might ballpark blast. It's 1-8, but the double dies a 19, so just a deep fly to left. And McGuire will lose the home run based on the ballpark. So that's 1 away, and here's Ron Say. Near the end of his career, he's just about done. He only has a few more games left with Oakland, then he'll retire or be retired, one or the other. 6-11. Fly ball left field X. Gary Ward's a 3E6. 3-14, he'll get to that E6. And then 9 shouldn't be a problem. There is no 9. So Gary Ward, another fly out to left field. So 2 flyouts to left field to start the 4th. And here's Carney Lansford. Lansford, his first time up, lined it hard right to Sakata. 110, and this time he's going to pop it up to Randolph. Easy inning for Rasmussen. And we go to the 5th, bottom of the 4th, rather, and it's still 3-0 Yankees. Kurt Young coming back out. We'll face the bottom of the order, Cerrone, Tollison, and then, of course, Ricky. Kurt Young's fatigue is a 7, so he's nowhere near fatigue. Here's Cerrone. 5-6, and that's going to be a split chance. 1-3 is a single, but the double dies a 6 this time, so he lines it to Alfredo Griffin. We're 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Wayne Tollison. 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Back to Phillips again. Getting a lot of play over there. 4-17, he'll make the play. Question is, will there be an error? That is a total of 12, and he's an E21. E21, there's a 13 there, but no 12, so he escapes that and makes the play. So 2 up and 2 down. And back comes Ricky. Ricky has homered and walked. 5-8, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-8, but that's an 18, so Ricky just got under it, and that's going to end the inning. Yankee Stadium not home run friendly, especially to right-handers. So we played 4, and it's still 3-0 Yankees. This will be the fatigue inning for Dennis Rasmussen. He's going to face Davis, Steinbach, and Polonia. But first things first, got to get more coffee before it gets cold. That is step 1. Step 2 is, I guess you would want to call it a public service announcement, maybe. I don't know. But for those that, and this is talking about a different game now, not Strat-O-Matic. But let me turn this light off because I think it'll look better on screen this way. Let me see how it's going to look. It may not look well at all. I don't know. On my phone, it may not look all that well. I don't know. But I'm on the Payoff Pitch website, and you can see right here, there's wording says pre-sale item. The 1975 season is about to be released from payoff pitch. If those people that are interested in payoff pitches, it's a really good game. Good price. You get the whole season with all the players for $39. It's a pre-sale item for $39. Normally it's $44 to $39 plus whatever the shipping is. Usually shipping is about $8. So you're talking about, less than $50 for sure. And you get all the players. So it's a back order, and it's supposed to be, I think the website said this price continues through November the 2nd. Shipping is in early November. So, hey, we're not that far away. So anyway, just a public service announcement. I saw that on Facebook and thought I would mention it for those that maybe like payoff pitch but weren't aware that season's being released. So just thought I would do that. If you don't care about payoff pitch, then just ignore it. Ignore me and ignore that. But that's just a public service announcement. And it's nice to see the rule, the good pricing. I mean, Strat-O-Matic could definitely learn something from that. But that's a rabbit hole I won't go down right now. All right, so Dennis Rasmussen facing Mike Davis. It's a 2-7, and that's a strikeout. And for Rasmussen, that is strikeout number 3 as he takes care of Davis. Oh, cool, Jeremiah. Hopefully somebody will respond to that. I don't do much with the forums, so I don't know. I mean, I know they exist. I just don't get on there hardly ever. So here's Steinbach, 2-7. That's a ground ball to Tollison, 2 down. So Rasmussen has gotten on a roll here. He has retired the last 6 in a row. Not that that's necessarily on a roll, but it's not bad. And that'll bring up Polonia, number 9 hitter. Grounded to Mattingly his first time up. 4-11, and that's a fly ball to left field X. We're looking at Ward, 3E6 for Gary Ward. 3E6, 3 and a 1. Oh, the double die is a 1. That's going to drop for a double. No questions about it. 3 and a 1 is a double. Would have scored anybody on base, but nobody was on base. But it's a double for Polonia. Now we're checking for an error. That's a 12, and he is an E6. There is no 12, so it won't be an error, but it will be a 2-out double for Luis Polonia. And that's going to bring up Tony Phillips with a chance to drive home the first Oakland run. Phillips in the clutch against lefties, gains a hit on 2-6 and on 3-8, so pretty good clutch hitter. Hello, Grapes. Good to see you. 5-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. Rasmussen with his 4th strikeout. And 5 innings in the books. Rasmussen only gives up a double, just that 1 hit, so he keeps endurance into the 6th for sure, particularly getting that strikeout to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. For the Yankees, it'll be Randolph, Mattingly, and Winfield. That's a 5-12, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Alfredo Griffin. He's a 2E29. Good range, but the error is a little high. 2 and a 7, he'll get to that. The E29 is still questionable. That's a 14. Under an E29 shortstop, 11, 3, 17, and 18 are the errors, so the 14, he's fine. Alfredo Griffin will make the play and retire Randolph. 1 away. Bring up Donnie Baseball. He is singled and popped to first. It's 2-10, and he's going to ground it to McGuire this time. McGuire takes it to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down to start the 5th. And here comes Mr. May, Dave Winfield. He has walked and popped to second. 2-10, and that's going to be, oh, look at this. Jeffrey, are you out there? 2-10. Clean as a baby's ass for Dave Winfield on a 2-10 against the left-hander. Right there. Mr. Gudeman, are you out there? Are you still with us? Clean as a baby's ass, 2-10. Right there. Home run Dave Winfield, his 9th of the season on the replay. 27th RBI. He had 27 home runs real world. This was his 9th. So home run number 9 for Winfield makes it 4-0 Yankees. And that was a no-doubter. And that brings up Gary Ward. So Mr. May coming through in May. 4-8 is a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. That's actually the very first strikeout for Kurt Young. Took him 5 innings to get one, and he finally got one. But Winfield goes deep and makes it a 4-0 game as we head to the 6th inning. Here's Rasmussen. He'll be facing Griffin, Canseco, and McGuire. Heart of the order for the Oakland A's. 4-4, switch hitter. That's an in-home run chance, straight up, but Griffin has weak power, so it'll just be a single. In basic, that's a home run. That's why I don't play basic. Hello, big dog. Good to see you. So Griffin is on, down 4-0. Wow, he already stole a base, but I mean, I think down 4-0. I think you just stay where you are, especially with Canseco and McGuire coming up. So they'll hold him on, but he won't go anywhere. Here's Canseco. He's 0 for 2. 4-8. 1-8's a single. Anything else he lines to second? That's lines to short. That's a 5 though, so it's a base hit for Canseco. And now Rasmussen on the verge of fatigue, so the bullpen for the Yankees starting to activate. And Tim Stoddard is loosening in the bullpen for the Yankees, just in case. Right-hander Tim Stoddard. So first and second, nobody out for McGuire. Payoff pitch does card all the players. Yes, Jeremiah. Every player is carded. Even if you only had like 2 at-bats, he's carded. And he's rated for splits. All players, all pitchers, and all position players are rated for splits. All right, and they have the best quality cards in the business as far as card stock, and you know, just the look of the cards are very, very clean. All right, here I'm not a big fan of their defensive ratings and some of the ways the defense is applied, but other than that, it's a great game. Here's Mark McGuire. 4-9, and that's a ballpark blast for McGuire. He's got his second ballpark blast in a row. 8 home run chance, but that's a 4. So this time McGuire was not denied by the ballpark. It's going to be a 3-run home run from Mark McGuire, and that will be the end for Dennis Rasmussen. McGuire cranks the ballpark blast. Look at it again. 4-9 is the ballpark blast. It goes 1-8, and that's a 4. So a 3-run home run for McGuire. That's his 12th of the replay. RBIs 27, 28, and 29. And all of a sudden, we got a 4-3 ball game. And Lou Piniella makes that slowed walk out to the mound to relieve Dennis Rasmussen of his duties. So Rasmussen is out of there. And right-hander Tim Stoddard will be coming on for the Yankees. So Rasmussen's going to go 5+. He did not get an out in the 6th inning. And that home run officially made him tired on the Strat computer, but I think Lou Piniella was tired of him before the Strat computer said so. So we'll go to the box score and get the final numbers on Rasmussen. Had a great outing going until that 3-run homer. Now it's very average. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs. No walks and 4 strikeouts. So Tim Stoddard will come on, but what that will mean is we will get a pinch hitter for Ron Say. And Mr. Hot Dog Jackson himself will take over as the DH now that a righty is in the game. So we're going to have some moves here. Stoddard coming on, but Hot Dog Jackson will take over. He will pinch hit here in the 6th and take over as DH. Normally I say you can't pinch hit until the 7th, but when a pitching change is made, that changes the rules because Say was only in there to face the lefties. Now he's got a righty in there. It's only reasonable to go to Reggie Jackson. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. So Rasmussen is out of there after giving up the 3-run bomb to Mark McGuire. So apparently the thumbnail did give Mark McGwire some good karma as he comes through with the ballpark blast, and the ballpark cooperated, so the Devil Die cooperated with that 4, gave him the home run. So Tim Stoddard is on, and with that move, Reggie Jackson will take over as the DH for Ron Cey. So first things first, we're looking at Tim Stoddard. On the real season, he was 4-3 with a 3.50 ERA. On the replays, 4-3, 3.71 ERA, 34 innings pitched, 32 hits, 11 walks, and 34 strikeouts. He had 8 saves real world. He's got 1 save on the replay so far. So Reggie Jackson, Hot Dog Jackson, will lead it off, or not lead off, will come up to hit on the pinch hitting basis for Ron Cey. And on the replay, Jackson, well, real world, he hit 220 with 15 home runs, real world. On the replay, he's hitting 211 with 10 home runs and 25 driven in. So Stoddard facing Jackson. It's a 210 for Reggie. And look at this, ballpark blast for Reggie, but that's a 20. So Reggie misses out. He hits a deep fly to right that Winfield will call in. But a big loud out from Reggie there. And that's going to end the inning. Oh, it's only 1 out. I'm looking down here. I thought that was only 1 out. That's 1 out. And here's Carney Lansford. Lansford 0 for 2. 1-6, and that's a ground ball to Tollison, 2 down. And for those who came in late, Bobby Meacham was added to the roster, so we do have a backup shortstop now for the Yankees. They don't have to wear Tollison out. Of course, he's there as long as until Steinberger says to send him back to Columbus, one or the other. 3-6 for Mike Davis, and that's a ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. So Stoddard comes in and gets 3 quick outs. But the damage done, 3-run home run from Mark McGwire, and the A's are right back in this thing. It's 4-3. Due up for the Yankees will be Ron Kittle. Kittle is 1 for 2. 5-6 is a split chance. 1-3 is a single. That's a 15. He will line it to Alfredo Griffin at the shortstop position, 1 away. And they're going to try. Oakland's going to try to keep Kurt Young out there as long as he can, because you weaken the Yankee lineup with a left-handed pitcher, because you take away Dan Pasqua and Mike Pagliarulo in the potential DH and third base slots. So you have lesser hitters out there, in theory. 2-11, and that's a ground ball to second. Phillips is there. 2 away for Rick Cerrone. Too bad he never got traded to the Giants. It could have been Rick Cerrone, the San Francisco treat. But that marketing thing never happened. 2-8, and that is a 1-6 single. That is going to be a base hit on the split. So Cerrone gets his second hit of the game. And that brings up Tollison. Now, we're not in the 7th inning, so we can't pinch hit yet. So Tollison will have to swing away. 5-5, and that's going to be a walk. So Tollison keeps the inning going with a walk. And now danger Will Robinson as Ricky Henderson steps to the plate. No action in the Oakland bullpen just yet, as La Russa wants to go with Kurt Young. Hold on, Grapes. Let me look at this real quick. Oh, okay, sure. Hold on 1 second there, Grapes. Make sure I type it in. Don't make a typo. That's the other thing. And no hating on me for still having an AOL email address. No hatred for AOL. I'm old school, as they say. So that's my email address. You send me that, I will send you a PDF. It's front and back, print it off front and back. And you can have this wonderful score sheet that somebody made and sent to me. So, all right, here's Ricky Henderson in the clutch now for Henderson. 1-6, and that's trouble. 1-8's a triple. That's a 12. It'll be a double for Ricky Henderson. So that will score Cerrone. It may score Tollison as well. The double is assumed to go to center because it's not listed. So that means we're looking at Polonia as a 0 arm. Tollison's a 15. He's a trail runner not being held, makes him a 16. And 2 more for 2 outs makes him 18. So if you throw through, Henderson's going to take third. So I think they're just going to go ahead and run. It's a 2-run double for Ricky Henderson. Comes through in the clutch. Ricky Henderson. Again, proving why he is the best leadoff hitter of all time. No questions asked on that one. Here comes Willie Randolph. Also a clutch situation for Randolph. 1-4. He's going to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning. But now it is a 6-3 ball game, and you wonder if they're going to. That might be it for Kurt Young. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Very well could be. La Russa may be fed up with him at this point. He's not tired per the computer, so it may just be a replacement for ineffectiveness. So we go to the top of the 7th for the Oakland A's. It's going to be Stoddard out to face Steinbach, Polonia, and Phillips here in the top of the 7th. It's a 6-4 for Stoddard, and that's a catcher X. So we're looking at Cerrone. He's a 3-E-0. Well, obviously, he can't make an error, so we're not worried about an error. 3 and a 10 for a catcher. 3 and a 10, but we were rolled to make sure we don't get a rare play. No, there's no 5 there. So 3 and a 10 is a P/F, so it's just going to be a foul out because there's no error there on the E0. So he fouls out to Steinbach, 1 away. And that will take us to Luis Polonia. 1-7 for Polonia. It's a 1-9 double. That's double dies a 1, so it's a second double of the game for Polonia. The A's have clouded 4 doubles in this game. This one, a 1-out double by Polonia, brings up Tony Phillips. Tony Phillips stepping to the plate. Whoa, we got hop and dice, so we're going to re-roll that again. I don't know why they came out like that. 5-9, and that's going to be a strikeout for Stoddard. Big strikeout for Stoddard. And I got 2 pieces of tape, and it's still not holding down because the tape is cheap. Because I was cheap. And went to the dollar store instead of buying the name brand. That's just what I get. All right, here's Alfredo Griffin in a clutch situation. 1-8, and he comes through. 1-7's a triple. That's a 15. It'll be a double. I'm sorry, to be a single, 2 stars. That's enough to score Polonia. RBI single for Phillips. For Griffin, rather. He is 4 for 4. 3 singles and a double for Alfredo Griffin. Cuts the lead to 6-4. Now the Yankee bullpen starting to stir again. Griffin will be held, but he won't try to steal. Although Stoddard is a +4, so that does make it kind of juicy. It's a +3. So if he gets the lead, it'd be a 1-16. So that might be worth the gamble. 1-16 if he gets the lead. And he gets the lead. So it's a 1-16. And he's in there. Stolen base again for Alfredo Griffin, his second of the game. Now a base hit by Canseco can score another run, potentially. And it makes it a clutch situation for Canseco as well against the right-hander. With the runner on second, it's now clutch. So he gains a hit on 110. So by doing that steal, you get him an extra hit right here. So little nuances there in stealing the base, not just to get in scoring position, but you also improve Canseco's card by 1 result. Not that the odds of 110 coming up are that great, but they could. It's a 4-6, though, and it's going to be a 1 for a double. Anything else, he flies to center. So that's going to end the inning, and that's going to do it for the Oakland A's, and will also do it for Tim Stoddard. He's going to go 2 innings. And let's see what he gives up. Well, actually, I go to the computer, and computer will tell me what he gives up. I mean, something didn't work right on the computer here, so I think I skipped somebody on the computer. Let me fix that real quick. Good thing for the undo button. It's a lifesaver for sure. All right, so Phillips, let's see here. We got Polonia with the double. I didn't put Phillips strikeout on the computer. That's what it was. So he strikes out. Griffin with the RBI single, the stolen base, and then the fly to center. Now we're back on speed. All right, so we'll go to the Strat computer and get the numbers on Stoddard for his 2 innings of work. And we'll find out whether Kurt Young's going to come out for the 7th inning or not. He may not. So Tim Stoddard went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits and a run. No walks and a strikeout. And due up for the Yankees, it'll be Mattingly, Winfield, and Ward. Bullpen action for the A's. They do have right-handed activity in their bullpen. Kurt Young will come out and face Mattingly only. He's out there just to face Mattingly, a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and then they will take him out. So, in their bullpen, they will have Eric Plunk. Eric Plunk will be coming on for the A's after Kurt Young faces Mattingly. So Plunk is I didn't do anything with that, Jeff. I'm not sure what happened to it, but I haven't touched anything, and I don't think there's any other. RJL, I think, is the only moderator that's in here, so I don't think he did anything to it. But I don't know what happened to it, but I was trying to get your attention when Winfield hit that one, so I'm not sure what happened on that. YouTube's doing some weird things these days. I don't know what's going on with it, but no, I did not personally. I didn't even see that you sent it. Obviously, it took it away. I didn't see it. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Robert, for that. Okay. So it's 6-4 ball game now, bottom of the 7th. And we will be going to the 7th inning stretch because I need to heat my coffee. And that's my excuse to heat my coffee, is going to the 7th inning stretch. So, of course, the plan is to have Kurt Young face Mattingly lefty on lefty, and then we're going to take him out. I'm going to get a third piece of this cheap tape and see if I can finally tie this thing down, keep it from popping up all the time. It's just annoying me to no end. So don't ever buy this tape. Whatever you do not buy Pen Plus Gear tape. It sucks. It's only $1, but it's not worth. It's 99 cents overpriced. So anyway, that's another public service announcement for you. Most people aren't cheap like I, and you probably don't have to worry about stuff like that, because if you're not cheap, then you won't have to worry about it. And Robert, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned this earlier, but Payoff Pitch is having a sale on the 1975 season that they're soon to release. It's going to be $39 if you order up through November 2nd. You get $5 off. 1975 season. A lot of people were waiting for that in that game. I know Payoff Pitch is a good game, but me and you are in the same philosophy there, that it's a good game and it should be better than it is, but there's something about it that just, I can get to it once in a while, but there's something missing, it, to use your terminology. And I can't think of what that something is, but there's just something missing. But it should, I mean, the idea of the game and everything should be great, but there's just something that just doesn't quite measure up to other games. I don't know what it is. It's no fault of the company. It's just the way it works. That's the way it just turns out. So anyway, we are now going to the 7th inning stretch while I go get my coffee. So if you want to I need to take a stretch break myself probably. We've been at this for a little while, so it's probably time for me to get up and move around, go check on Tabby and see what else is going on. So we go to the 7th inning stretch. Its score is Yankees 6, Oakland 4. So enjoy. Take me out to the ball game while I go heat my coffee. right, we are back. Coffee refreshed and ready to go for the bottom of the 7th. Wow. $11. All right. Yeah, but let's face it, in the Strat-O-Matic world, clean as a baby's ass is part of the lexicon, in my opinion. So, and boy, with the third piece of tape, this stuff's still not sticking. It just stinks. All right, here's Mattingly. He's facing a lefty, Kurt Young. This will be the last batter Kurt Young faces. 5'7", ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Griffin. He's a 2E29. 2 and a 9, he'll get to that. E29, and that is an 11. And right there, the only error on the E1 under the E29 is an 11. So Alfredo Griffin will boot it. And that's the way Kurt Young ends his day. So we can't close the book on Young because that run could score. Mattingly will reach on the E6. So again, not clean fielding by the Oakland A's. That's their second error. So Eric Plunk will come on, the right-hander, to face Winfield to try to keep the score where it is. Plunk was 4-6 with a 4.74 ERA real world. Let's bring him on in the computer and see what he's done on the replay. Part-time starter, part-time reliever. But he's in a spot right now, or in a section of the season right now, where he does relief work exclusively. He's 4-6 on the season with 2 saves, a 4.74 earned run average. In the replay, he's 1-4 with no saves, 6.70 ERA, 42 innings pitched, 43 hits, 42 walks, and 36 strikeouts. So the 42 walks in the 42 innings is what's his bugaboo. And in real world, he pitched 95 innings, only allowed 62, but the dice have been giving him walks lately. So that's where he's been running into problems. And he'll be facing Mr. Winfield. Mr. Winfield. And Plunk's a +3 hold. So that's a +3 instead of a -3. That could come up later. We'll see. So Winfield, with Mattingly at first not being held. It's a 5-4 for Plunk, and that's a catcher X, so it's possible pass ball or something. 3E7 for Steinbach. Steinbach 3 and a 4. That could be trouble. 3 and a 4 for Steinbach is a W/G. Possible wild pitch or a ground out if there's no wild pitch. That's a 15, and Steinbach's an E7. And there's an error right there. That'll be the third error of the game on the A's if it stands. If there's a wild pitch, then of course there won't be an error because the wild pitch would override the error, you would think. So we'll have to figure out how this plays out. W/G, it says with runners on base, pitcher uncorks a wild pitch, all runners advance 1 base and play resumes, the same batter at the plate. Now, so to me, if it's a wild pitch, then to me that overrides the error. I mean, it doesn't make any sense that you don't follow up with an error. It just says play resumes. So if play resumes, that means he steps back in the box with the runner now on second and hits away. So no error there now. So it's going to take the error away from Steinbach, but a wild pitch by Plunk will move Mattingly to second base with nobody out. Gets him into scoring position. So Winfield, another chance. A 1. Plunk has a chance for another wild pitch. This one on his own, not having to deal with Steinbach. His wild pitch rating's an 11. So 18 this time. Fortunately for the A's, Steinbach blocked it. So no wild pitch there. Here's Winfield. 2-9 for Winfield. It's a solid single to right field. Mattingly will hold at third. Davis has a strong arm in right, and Mattingly does not run all that well. So it's going to put runners at the corners with nobody out, and Plunk is having some issues. Here's Gary Ward. The infield's going to have to come in. They're already down by 2. They can't afford to get down by more than that. So the infield will be in to try to turn 2, or try to prevent the run, I should say. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. It's a huge strikeout to get Gary Ward on the strikeout. And now a double play would get them out of the inning, so they're going to play back for the double play this time to hope to get out of the inning. However, Ron Kittle is not exactly a double play candidate very much. Got a couple of A's on here, but not many. But he does have some A pluses on his card. So if you play in, you're going to give up a 2-run single. So they're going to play back for the double play. But they're really hoping that Plunk strikes him out is what they're hoping for. 1-6, and they got what they wanted, a strikeout of Ron Kittle. So Plunk trying to get out of this with strikeouts, and it's all down to Len Sakata. But, of course, Len Sakata won't bat. Now they've got a right-hander in the lineup or in the ball game. Mike Pagliarulo has picked up a bat and will hit for the Yankees and stay in the game to play third base. So Pags coming on to pinch hit for Sakata. Pagliarulo pinch hit in the 7th and play third base in the 8th. So we'll get the numbers on Pags. See how he's done on the replay. On the real season, Pagliarulo hit .234 with 32 home runs. In the replay, he's hitting .264 with 12 home runs. So he's doing a little bit better, obviously. So Pagliarulo with runners at the corners and 2 outs, a clutch situation. And in the clutch, Pagliarulo will gain a hit on 1-6, and everywhere else he is neutral. But you can see a very juicy column 3 here with home runs. So Plunk has to navigate this carefully. To 5-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Polonia. He's a 3-E-9. Very critical that Polonia makes this play. 3-E-9. 3 and a 4. Oh boy, that double die is just not cooperating. 3 and a 4 is going to drop in for a single 2 stars. Boy, what a bad break that was for Oakland. RBI single, that will score the unearned run as Mattingly comes across to score. Winfield will stop at second base. We'll check for an error as well. That's a 12, and he is an E9 in center field. There is no 12, but it will be a RBI single, RBI pinch hit single from Mike Pagliarulo, and the Yankees take a 7-4 lead. That is an unearned run. We can close the book on Young now after that, as Polonia unable to get to that. Here's Rick Cerrone now, first and second, 2 outs. Plunk, that's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Chance for a balk for Plunk. I think he has a 0 balk rating, but I'll verify it. He had 11 wild pitch and a 0. No, I'm sorry, he's got an 8 balk rating. Balk rating's an 8. And he balks. So how about that? They're really shaking up Plunk here. The balk will put runners in scoring position. And now that makes this a clutch situation for Cerrone, so he will lose a hit on 3-3 and 3-7. So if we hit these numbers, that would be actually a fortuitous balk if we hit these numbers, ironically. We don't. 5-7 is a walk, and that's going to load the bases. And that's going to do it for Plunk. I don't think La Russa wants to go with Plunk any further. With Wayne Tollison coming up, they will go to the bullpen, will the Oakland A's, as Plunk couldn't get out of the inning. So Oakland will go to the bullpen. Wayne Tollison. Doesn't matter who you bring in at this point. Only one they can't bring in is Dennis Lamp because he pitched like 4 innings or 5 innings in the previous game, so he definitely has to have rest. So they're going to go to Gene Full Nelson out of the bullpen. See if they can get out of the inning. So Plunk couldn't get it done, and Gene Nelson will be coming on. And on the replay, Gene Nelson, well, in real world, Gene Nelson was 6-5 with a 3.93 ERA and 3 saves. In the replays, 3-0 with no saves, a 4.40 earned run average. 31 innings pitched, 45 hits, 14 walks, 30 strikeouts. So Gene Nelson is on for the A's in a clutch situation. Obviously, bases loaded, 2 outs, 1 run already in. It's unearned. Any run here becomes unearned as well. It'll be charged to Plunk, but they will all be unearned. So Tolleson in the clutch loses a hit on 2-5, 2-9, and 2-10. So he's definitely anti-clutch. So Nelson to Tolleson. 3-6, and that's going to be a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Nelson gets out of it without any further damage. And we can close the book now on both Plunk and Young. Go to the Strat computer to make my life easier. We'll also put Pagliarulo at third base on the Strat computer. He's got to be in the right position. You got to have your right fielders there. And we need a new pitcher for Stoddard. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. So we'll go to the box score and check out Kurt Young's totals along with Mr. Plunk's. So Young went 6 innings and 6+ because he actually pitched to 1 batter in the 7th. 9 hits, 7 runs, only 5 of which were earned. 3 walks and a strikeout. Plunk, 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. All right, so, and of course, Gene Nelson will come back and pitch the 8th as well. But the Yankees need a pitcher for the 8th inning. Mark McGwire is going to be your leadoff hitter. So let's see who the Yankees want to bring. They're going to bring in the new guy they just brought up, Rich Bordy. Rich Bordy is coming on to pitch for the Yankees. Bordy in the real world season was 3-1 with a 7.64 ERA. No saves. He did have 1 start. 33 innings pitched, 42 hits, 12 walks, and 23 strikeouts, giving up 7 home runs in 33 innings with a whip of 1.64. But that's who they're bringing in. And my 3 pieces of tape just aren't cutting it, are they? He's a +2 hold with a -1 from Cerrone, makes him a +1. And of course, I'm pretty sure this is his maiden voyage in the 87 season, but I'll verify it just to be sure. Make sure he didn't play early in the season somewhere and I forget about it. No, this is his first outing of the season. So see what Rich Bordy can do against Mark McGwire. Mark McGwire, who hit the 3-run homer his last time up. 1-3, and he's going to strike out this time. So Bordy gets the K on Mark McGwire. And Bordy will feast much better if he gets off the batter card instead of his own card. Here's Hot Dog Jackson. He just missed a home run his first time up on a ballpark blast. It didn't quite go his way. 1-4. That's a ground ball to Tolleson at short. 2 down. And here's Carney Lansford. That's a 1-6 for Lansford, ground ball to short. So how about that? Rich Bordy, a 1-2-3 8th inning, and he's got the fatigue to go ahead and finish the game out. There's not a save situation, so they're going to bring him back for the 9th. If he gets in trouble, they can always, bring in their Rigetti if they need to. But might as well let him pitch. If he can keep going, might as well keep it going. So bottom of the 8th we go. Score still 7-4 Yankees. A's have committed 2 errors, almost a 3rd one, but they committed 2 for sure. And now the top of the order, Ricky Henderson, Willie Randolph, and Don Mattingly. I agree, Jeff. Might as well use him. And it worked out. You got a lot of those results off the batter card, so it worked out in his favor. So Ricky Henderson will lead things off, and he's had a great game for Ricky. Led off the game with a home run, got us off to a banging start. Then he walked, and he's also doubled, so he's done quite well. 5-12 against Nelson. That's a ballpark blast again, 1-8, but that's an 11, so Ricky will miss the home run based on Yankee Stadium ballpark qualities. Not going to give it to him. 1 away, and that brings up Willie Randolph. 4-7. That's a 1-out walk issued to Willie Randolph, and that will bring up Mattingly. Don Mattingly with Randolph at first base. Randolph will be held but Nelson's a -3 hold. So don't think they want to try to steal. If he got the lead, well, he needs a 3 to get the lead. So you know what? They're going to try it anyway. Needs a 3. Probably won't get the 3 anyway to worry about it. He does not, so it's a moot point. All right, so Mattingly is up 4-3. It's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Canseco. Canseco's a 3-E9. 3 and an 8. I think he'll get to that. We'll see. 3 and an 8, he does. F1, but the runners are going to advance. If there's anybody on base, they will advance on the F1. So that means Randolph will take second base on this deep fly out, regardless, because of the F1. That's a 12, and he is an E9. There is no 12. There's an 11 there, but no 12. But it's a fly to left, but it's so deep that Randolph will tag up smartly and go to second base. You don't see that happen very often, but we see it here. 2 down for Mr. May. Dave Winfield has had a nice game. He's walked, homered, and singled. So while he's still in the month of May, he's doing well. It is a clutch situation with the runner at second now moving up. So we activate the clutch symbols. Gains a hit on 111. That's it. Everything else is neutral. So by moving up, he gets that 1 extra hit. But he gets a 2-7 instead and strikes out. So that's going to end the inning. Gene Nelson takes care of that. And we go to the 9th. Last chance for the Oakland A's. It'll be against Rich Bordy, as long as Bordy doesn't give up, too much. It is a save situation, but Righetti's been kind of overworked, so unless it's necessary, we're not going to bring in Righetti. Mike Davis will lead it off, followed by Steinbach and Polonia. Not much on the A's bench to bring in as far as a pinch hitter, so I think they're kind of stuck with who they have. Looking on the A's bench, they've got Tettleton as a possibility, Stan Javier, and Mike Gallego. Those are the 3 guys on the bench. Nothing screams pinch hitter in that grouping. So here's Davis, 4-7. That's a 1-12 single. That's a 5, so Mike Davis, a leadoff single. And then Piniella may have to get Righetti going whether he likes it or not, because you don't want to blow this lead. Here's Steinbach to give Bordy a very short leash here. Steinbach is your batter. He's 0 for 3. 1-6, and he's going to get hit by a pitch by Bordy. And I think that's going to do it. I think they're going to have to go to Righetti now. They don't want to, but I think they're going to have to. You can't let this game get away from you. Tying run is now on base in the form of Luis Polonia. So Yankees will hate to do it, but they're going to have to go to Righetti and hope Righetti can hold out. Piniella says, I promise I'll give you a day off later. So Righetti is going to be coming on for the Yankees. We'll wait and see if Polonia gets pinch hit for or not. So Righetti on the replay. Well, first of all, in the real world, he was 8-6 with 31 saves, a 3.51 earned run average. And the replay is 1-1 with 11 saves and a 4.05 earned run average. So Righetti coming in. Bordy is going to go 1 1/3 innings. He's going to give up a hit, and he hit a batter, got a strikeout. But these 2 runs are his responsibility. So Polonia is up. He faced lefties 21% of the time. Like I said, not much on the A's bench to work with. They could bring up Mickey Tettleton to pinch hit, I suppose. But he's only a 194 average hitter, and Polonia is a 287 hitter. So I don't think the right-left is going to quantify quite that much to validate that move. And Stan Javier hit 185, so I don't think that's going to cut it either. So they're going to have to go with Polonia regardless. You got to go with the average. You can't mess around. All right, Righetti to Polonia. This is definitely a save situation. 4-9, and that's a fly ball to center. That's out number 2. As he gets Polonia, now he's got to deal with Tony Phillips. Definitely, if you're Getty, you definitely don't want to get to Canseco. So you want to get this out done here with either Phillips or Griffin and get it over with. Phillips does have normal power against lefties, though, so you got to be careful. Give a ballpark blast or something. It's a 3-2, and that's a, look at this for Tony Phillips. A 3-2 is a 1-18 home run, and that is gone. It's not clean as a baby's butt, but it's gone one way or the other. A 3-2 off of Righetti, and had the right-hander been in there, would have been a clean home run. But here, a 3-2 is a 1-18 home run, and that's a 6. It is gone, and we are tied at 7 apiece. And Dave Righetti has blown yet another save. Tony Phillips, a 3-run home run with 2 outs in the top of the 9th, has tied this game at 7 apiece. For Tony Phillips, his 3rd home run of the replay. He had 10 real world. RBI 16, 17, and 18, but there it is, a 3-2 for Tony Phillips, 1-18, and the double die is a 6. So we are tied at 7 apiece, and Alfredo Griffin will step to the plate. .410, and that is a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Ricky Henderson. He's a 2-E10. 2-11. He'll get to it. That's a rare play, so we got to figure out what out it is, whether it's a F2 or whatever. So 2 and an 11 is an F2. So we got an F2 rare play. So we go to the rare play beta page that I made up. Not using the F2 rare plays in the Strat-O-Matic score sheet or X-Chance sheet. So we go to F2 with runner on third and less than 2 outs. There's no runner on third, so it doesn't matter. We would have had a violent collision at the plate where both the catcher and the runner would have been ejected for, get into a scuffle after the collision. But in this case, it's not a matter. It's just going to be a fly out to center field to end the inning. But damage done. Righetti blows the lead. Didn't even write him on the score sheet yet, and he blew the lead before I even had a chance to write him in. So those runs are charged to Bordy. These 2 runs here are going to be charged to Bordy. Righetti's going to go 2/3 of an inning, give up the hit and the home run, and now the Yankees will put somebody else out of their bullpen if they needed to do so in the 10th inning. Bob Shirley is a likely candidate, but we shall see how it plays out. So Gene Nelson, we'll see if Nelson stays in the game to pitch for the A's or whether they go to somebody else. Nelson, he's only pitched an inning and a third, and he's pitched pretty decently. So I think the A's will keep Nelson. I don't know if they'll go to another guy out of the bullpen. I think they will keep Nelson. With these right-handers coming up for the Yankees, I think they will keep Mr. Nelson. So bottom of the 9th we go, 7, 11, and 2 for the Oakland A's, 7, 11, and 0 for the New York Yankees. But Gary Ward will lead off, followed by Ron Kittle and Len Sakata. They could pinch hit for Kittle, but Kittle's a pretty good hitter. He hit 277. So I'm not sure you want to do that, but they could pinch hit. Well, you got Pagliarulo following him, not Sakata. But they could pinch hit for Cerrone and Tolleson to get down to that. So if we go extra innings, you might very well see Bobby Meacham. But first things first. Oh, it's only 2 outs. You know what? I didn't even notice that. I did not even notice that. I put the 8 here thinking that was an out to fly to center, but that's just him moving up the base. So Bordy only pitched 1 inning. And Righetti's going to have to pitch the full inning. I didn't even catch that. The computer corrected me. There's only 1 out, only 2 outs rather. So, wow, let's fix this. Jose Canseco is actually at the plate against Righetti. So, not so fast, my friend, as they say. There's only 2 outs in the inning. A fly out by Poloni and a fly out by Griffin. The other guys got on base. So, 2 outs and base is clear, but Righetti's got to get out Canseco to actually take us to the bottom of the ninth with a tie game. Whoa, that's a leaning die, so I'm going to re-roll that. I don't like cat-a-corner dies. 3-9 for Canseco against the lefty. Oh, he just missed a ballpark blast. That would have given the A's the lead on a 3-8. But a 3-9 is still going to be a single. So Righetti gives up an extra hit here, and Canseco is going to be looking to get a lead and steal a base despite the -5. If he can get in scoring position, that will certainly. But it would take the bat out of McGuire's hands. So I think they're going to hold him at first base because if he steals, they're going to walk McGuire intentionally and pitch to Jackson. So they're going to let they're going to keep Canseco there. Canseco's edging to get to second base on a steal attempt, but he says, La Russa says, no, you hold up because we don't want him walking McGuire intentionally. So McGuire has a chance, put the A's ahead, 2 outs. 2-7, and he struck him out. So Righetti gets out of that. So he does get his first strikeout. He gives up his second hit. So it's 1 inning pitched. So we'll clean up these details here and give him the 1 strikeout. So now we can officially move on to the bottom of the ninth and officially put the fork in Righetti. He is done. And Gene Nelson will now come out and pitch the bottom of the ninth in a 7-7 tie. And he'll be facing Ward, Kittle, and Pagliarulo. We get a 2-10 for Ward, and that's a fly. Boy, 2-11 would have been a ballpark blast, but it would have been out anyway. But it's a fly ball to left field for Gary Ward, 1 away. Hauled in out there by Canseco. That's going to bring up Ron Kittle. Question is, do you pinch hit for Kittle with Pasqua? You could bring in the lefty hitting Pasqua, but he's only a 233 hitter, and Kittle's a 277 hitter. So even though Pasqua, well, he's got juicy stuff against righties, though. Man, they're going to go ahead and think the move. They're going to bring in Pasqua, and Pasqua's going to be the new DH. They're going to play the percentages. Going to go to the lefty. So Pasqua, it's a controversial move, I know, but we're going to try it. That's what we do on this channel, is try stuff that other people don't think about trying or wouldn't do. But Kittle's 1 for 4, so it's not like he's lighting things up here. So we're going to go to Pasqua on the computer and get his numbers on the replay. Danny Pasqua. So Pasqua, well, actually in the real season, he was 233 average, but 17 home runs. Got the power to walk this thing off. On the replay, he's hitting 252, 8 homers, 17 driven in. So Nelson has to be careful. 2-7, and he struck him out. Out number 2. And if you're one of these people want to worry what Ron Kittle did, 1-3 would have had a single, but that's a 15. He would have lined out. So he would have made it out either way. But Pasqua with the strikeout. 2 quick outs, and here's Pagliarulo trying to prevent going to extra innings. 6-3 is a ground ball pitcher X. He's an E23. Computer says his range is a 3. So he's a 3 E23 for Nelson. 3 and a 12, he'll get to that. E23, and that's a 9. E23, there's no 9 there, so Nelson will make the play, and we're going to extra innings, folks. We will go to the 10th. Yankees will need a new pitcher. That's going to be it for Gene Nelson, I do believe. He's going to go 2 1/3, will Mr. Nelson. And he's going to get 1 walk and 2 strikeouts, give up no runs, and no hits. So he did very well for himself. But the Yankees will need a new pitcher, and it's going to be Bob Shirley, the left-hander, will be coming on. Bob Shirley. He is pretty much the last guy in the bullpen for the Yankees. If they use anybody else, it'll be a starter that they have to pull out to use in relief. So they're going to. Shirley has a relief rating of 4, so they can go with him for a while. Although he's not the best choice, but that's what they've got. 1-0 with a 6.31 ERA. So kind of rough, and he gets traded to Kansas City later on. So right now he's with the Yankees. And it's going to be facing Hot Dog Jackson, a left-hander. He's a -4 hold, makes him a -5. So it'll be Hot Dog Jackson, Carney Lansford, and Mike Davis. 2 out of the 3 are left-handed. They could pinch hit for Reggie with a righty, but I'm not sure they have anybody on the bench that's better. Let's see here. We got the ground out to pitcher. So here we go. We're going to bring in Bob Shirley. If they really had to, I guess they could bring in Ron Guidry. Actually has some relief ratings, so maybe they used him as a relief pitcher in the beginning of this when he first came out, so they could possibly use him. Might have to look it up and see what he did. Let me check that out real quick. Go to my retro sheet page and see if Rigetti did, because he did some relief work. He is rated for relief in 87, so I want to see if he pitched relief this time of the year or not, because that might give him an extra arm out of the bullpen. Still going to go to Shirley, but I mean, it's at least it opens up the possibility for Rigetti if it gets to that. Rigetti pitched 5 games in relief during the 87 season. So in the end of May, yeah, he pitches relief. He doesn't make a start till June the 9th. So, boy, do we want to bring in Guidry instead of Shirley? We could backtrack on this because nobody's hit yet. So we could bring in. It's possible to bring in Guidry. Let's see what Guidry did on his numbers, because he doesn't start until the first week of June. So he's got actually the second week of June 9th is when he starts. His first 5 appearances were relief appearances, real world. So Ron Guidry, they're going to bring in Ron Guidry, not Bob Shirley. They've made that move. So now that I realize we can do that, that's what we're going to do. And Bob Shirley will be left in the bullpen as emergency status. So we're not going to have Shirley. We're going to have Ron Guidry. I just don't think of him as a relief pitcher, but obviously in 87 he had 5 appearances as a relief pitcher. So that's what we're going to go with, Ron Guidry. And I know he doesn't start till June 9th on the schedule, so he gets to have at least a few appearances as a relief pitcher. He's a +2 hold though, so that makes him a +1. But I think they'll take it anyway. So on the Strat computer, I'm going to go in and undo this bringing in of Bob Shirley. And we're going to have Ron Guidry instead. So since he had not faced a batter yet, perfectly legitimate to do this. And obviously, since it's Guidry's first game of the year, he's got plenty of rest. I mean, not tired by any means. So Guidry on the real season was 5-8 with a 3.67 ERA and no saves. But he did have these 5 relief appearances to start the year, and that's what they're going to have. So he's going to come out and face Reggie Jackson, lefty on lefty against Hot Dog Jackson. And we'll see what happens with that. Tonight's World Series game, I have no idea. I'm assuming that Tyler Glasnow is pretty good. So I'm assuming that my honest opinion is the Dodgers are going to go ahead and sweep it in L.A. and they won't even get back to Toronto. I think that Game 1 was an anomaly, and I think the Dodger pitching in Dodger Stadium will do what they did to Milwaukee and just shut them down. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Probably will. Like I said, I don't follow modern baseball all that much, so. But we will go to the 10th here in this 87 season with Ron Guidry facing Reggie Jackson. Talk about a couple of Yankee stalwarts over time. 3-2 for Reggie, and he's going to foul it out to Mr. Cerrone for 1 away. And we will see Bobby Meacham because they're going to pinch hit for Tolleson in the bottom half. So that means if it goes to 11 innings, you will see Bobby Meacham for the first time. Not that you're all waiting with bated breath for that. Here's Carney Lansford. 4-7. Ground ball shortstop X, that's Tollison. He's a 3E22. 3E23 and a 13 is good. 3 and a 13 is good all day long, and that's a 14. He's an E22. There's a 15 there, but no 14. So Tollison makes the play. Shaky, but he makes it. And there's 2 away. 2 down, and that's going to send up Mike Davis, another lefty. Mike Davis. 2-7, and that's a strikeout. Boy, 2-8 would have been a ballpark blast, but it wouldn't have been a home run anyway. But he gets a strikeout, does Guidry. And we go to the bottom of the 10th. And the Yankees can try to win it, walk it off here in the bottom of the 10th. They will be sending up Cerrone, a pinch hitter for Tollison, and Ricky Henderson. The A's going to their bullpen. Let's see who they have that's fresh or available. I know they have Jay Howell, but he's more like their closer. They also have Steve Ontiveros, but he's not a very good pitcher. You would hate to bring in Ontiveros. He's just not very good. But if you don't want to use Howell, that's the other option there. Eckersley's going to start in a couple days, so you don't want to use him. They could use Dave Leeper, the lefty. That's who they're going to go with. They're going to go with Dave Leeper, the lefty. He's been their most effective relief pitcher in the replay, even though he's left-handed, and they're going to be facing right-handers. They're going to go with Dave Leeper. Leeper on the real season, 2-1 with a 3.78 ERA and 1 save. On the replays, 2-0 with 1 save and a 0.47 earned run average. 19 innings pitched, 10 hits, 8 walks, and 14 strikeouts. So as far as the replay goes, he's the best they have. No question about it. So Dave Leeper is going to be on. He's a -6 hold, so that will certainly help with the running game if it gets to that. So let's look at the Yankee bench and see who they have left, who they can pinch it for Tollison. They have Henry Cotto. So Henry Cotto will come in and pinch it for Tollison when the time comes. Henry Cotto will be the pinch hitter. And if it goes to the bottom, or if it goes to the 11th inning, Mr. Bobby Meacham will make his first appearance at shortstop. But first things first, Rick Cerrone. Rick Cerrone lead off here against Leeper. 1-7 for Cerrone, struck him out. Leeper gets the strikeout. And now we get the pinch hitter, Henry Cotto. 54% of his at-bats came against left-handed pitchers. Tollison was 0 for 3 with a walk. So they're not missing anything there. So they bring in the righty, Henry Cotto. That will leave Joel Skinner as the last bench player remaining, the backup catcher, once we bring Meacham into the game. Cotto, on the real season, hit .235 with 5 home runs at just 149 at-bats. On the replays, only had 4 at-bats. He's 0 for 4. So this is at-bat number 5. Maybe against the lefty, he gets a better break. We'll see. 2-10. That's a ground ball to short, so that's not going to work either. So I need to put this in here. So Cotto, pinch hit in the 10th. And we'll write in Meacham if it goes to the 11th. And it will go to the 11th unless Ricky walks it off here or does something wonderful. So Cotto grounds to short for out number 2. And now Leeper going to be facing Ricky Henderson. He's homered and doubled. 2-9. And he's, oh boy, 2-10 would have been a chance for a home run, but 2-9 is a ground ball to short. So Leeper pitches a 1-2-3 10th inning. And we will go to the 11th, and Bobby Meacham will take over at shortstop, where he's a 4.29. So not very good. But they were going for the offense to try to win the game. So Meacham is in at short in place of Tollison. But right now, it'll be Guidry back out to face Steinbach Polonia, and Phillips in the top of the 11th. And in relief, Guidry has a fatigue of 3, so he can go 3 innings at least in relief. Here's Steinbach. Whoa, we got a hop and dice. We're going to re-roll this. Yankees have the advantage as far as relievers go because they got guys that can go longer outings. 5-6 for Steinbach against Guidry is a strikeout. I'm not sure if that's getting off. Oh, I got to put on the computer. I got to put Meacham in the game. Let me do that. Won't let me continue until I do that. That leaves Joel Skinner, the last remaining bench player. All right, so Steinbach on a 5-6 will strike out. Looks like just the column 6 and column 3 are getting cut off, so 5 columns should be fine to see. And I'll move the guys over, or move the cards over if need be. So Steinbach out on strikes. Here is Polonia. That's a 210 for Polonia, and that's a single to right field for Louis Polonia. He may be looking to run here. I know it's a +1 on Guidry, so they got a chance to get something done. He needs a 4 or 5 or 6 to get the lead. Does not get the lead, so he'll have to hold. And here comes Tony Phillips. But Polonia does have good speed. He runs at a 17, so if he needs to try to take an extra base on a single, he's got a good chance to do so. 6-6 for Phillips against Guidry, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired, so another strikeout for Guidry. And that'll send up Alfredo Griffin. Canseco is on deck, so Guidry wants to get Griffin here. Does not want to have to deal with Canseco. That's a 1, so the wild pitch chance for Ron Guidry. Ron Guidry's wild pitch chance is a 5. His balk's a 3. His wild pitch is a 5. And it is a 5, so he will wild pitch Polonia to second base. That's big. Now a single could score the go-ahead run. So the wild pitch by Guidry. And now Griffin is up, and it makes Griffin's a clutch situation. And in the clutch, Griffin will gain a hit on 3-11. So that wild pitch is going to give him an extra chance for a hit on a 3-11. We got a 3-4 instead. That's a ballpark single check. It's 1-7. That's an 11. So he's going to pop it up to Meacham at short to end the inning. And so Guidry, 2 shutout innings of relief so far. And we go to the bottom of the 11th, tied still at 7. And Leeper back out will face Randolph, Mattingly, and Winfield, the heart of the order. And just think, Mr. May, Dave Winfield, could be the hero of this game. You never know. Anything is liable to happen with these dice. It's hard to say. Hard to say here. All right, Willie Randolph. 6-10 for Leeper. Ground ball third base X, we're looking at Lansford. Lansford is a 3E8. 3-10, he'll get to it. E8, and that is a 10, shouldn't be a problem. E8, there is no 10, and the 3 and a 10 is actually a G2. Nobody's on base, so it really doesn't matter. It's a 5-3 ground out, and there's one away. And here comes Mr. New York Yankee, Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball. Donnie Baseball. 6-7, lefty on lefty, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Alfredo Griffin. He's a 2E29. 2-2, Devil Die strikes again. 2-2 will be a single for Mattingly. That's a 9, and he is an E29. I don't think that's a problem. I think the 11 was the problem. But Mattingly, with the single, he is the winning run, although it doesn't run very well. And there's nobody on the bench to run for him, so he's going to have to just do it himself. And here comes Mr. May, chance to walk it off. Dave Winfield, he is singled and homered in this game. It's going to take some doing to get Mattingly home from first, though. 3-5, and that's going to be a walk. So Winfield will walk, and that puts runners at first and second now for Gary Ward. And Ward's got a chance to walk it off. Manually at second base, not being held. He's a slow runner. Here's Ward. 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Leaper. He's not tired, so the strikeout is good. 2 down, and now it's going to be up to Dan Pasqua. He's the lefty that came in as a pinch hitter for Kittle. So now he's got to face the lefty. Only face lefty 17% of the time, but never know. 6-6, and it's a strikeout for Leaper, and that's going to send us to the 12th inning. We will go to the 12th. Still tied at 7. I'm going to move the cards over here now because we're getting out of range here. So Canseco will lead off the top of the 12th against Guidry. No ghost runners in 1978, or 1987 rather, I should say. Here is Canseco. 5-5, and that's a fly ball to left field, hauled in by Ward. 1 away. And that brings up McGuire. He's already hit a 3-run homer in this game. He's got a chance to do more damage. 5-6, but he's going to strike out. No damage done there as Guidry gets him. 2 down. And here comes Reggie. 6-6, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Meacham, and that's trouble. Anytime there's a ground ball hit to Meacham, you're in trouble. Meacham is a 4E29. 4E29. 4-range shortstop is not what you want. A lot of balls are going to get through. But the double die's at 13, so he might catch a break here. 4 and a 13 is a G3. He's just good enough. That's an 18 though. Boy, you get an 18 on the error, and he was an E29, but you got the 18 there. This has 2-base error written all over it. E29 and an 18 is a 2-base error. Not the fault of Meacham. I mean, look at all these 18s in the 2-base error. You just got a bad break there. Tollison would have made the error also as an E22. So 2-base error on Bobby Meacham. But again, that was just bad luck of the dice. But it is kind of emblematic. Sometimes there's a saying that people have that the dice know who's batting or who's fielding. So even though it really wasn't his fault, the karma of the dice say it's Meacham at short, so we're going to give an error. All right, so here's Carney Lansford now in a clutch situation with Jackson at. Now they could pinch run for Jackson. That's a possibility. The A's do have Mike Gallego, who's got decent speed, runs at a 13. What does Reggie have? A 10? He's a 10. That's not that much difference. And you want to keep Gallego in case you need him for infielding purposes. You don't want to stick him at DH, and then he's locked in there. So they're going to stick with Reggie on the bases. It is a clutch situation for Lansford. In the clutch, he gains a hit on 3-5 against Guidry. That's a 4-5, and that's going to be a split chance. One's a single, and the LC line's to short, so he will line it to Meacham, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 12th. Leaper back out, and he'll be facing Pagliarulo, Cerrone, and Meacham. Can't pinch hit for Meacham because they had no other shortstops. So you're stuck with what you got now. So Pagliarulo will lead it off here in the bottom of the 12th. I thought about walking Lansford, but I decided not to. 6'3", lefty. He's a ground ball pitcher X. He's an E28. He's a 2E28 is Leaper. 2E, and the dice didn't go through all the way. So 2E28. 2 and a 12, he'll get to that. E28 and a 10. E28, there's a 10 right here, so it's an error on Leaper. And look at this, and the sirens go off in the background. I live down the street from a fire station, so we hear this all the time. So the error rating on Leaper E28, and the 10 is right there. You don't usually get many errors on 10s, but you do on pitchers sometimes. So especially with high error ratings. So Pagliarulo will lead off, reaching base on the E1. Rick Cerrone is a B bunter. We're actually going to bunt here. You're going to see a bunt on this channel. Of course, I had a suicide squeeze one day on the channel, so that was kind of freaky. But we're going to have a bunt by Cerrone. He is a B bunter. We'll see if the corners are in. They are, so it becomes a C bunter. Make sure there's no havoc. There's none. So it's a C bunter, and it's a 2. It means it's going back to Leaper. But he is a C bunter with the corners in. A C bunter. So he needs basically an 8 or less to have a good bunt. It's a 5, so that's a good bunt. C is a good sacrifice. So it's going to go 1 to 4 on the sacrifice. And now the winning run is in scoring position with 1 out for none other than Bobby Meacham. Could Bobby Meacham, Dr. D, I kind of use, unless it's obvious, I kind of use the Jeff Kuderman method where I roll the D6. And if it's a 1, 2, or 3, they play in. If it's a 4, 5, or 6, they play back. So it kind of takes the decision out of my hands. All right, so Bobby Meacham. Anybody want to intentionally walk Bobby Meacham with first base open and face Ricky Henderson? I don't think so. Bobby Meacham, 271 average, though. So if he walks this off, it's going to be very, very ironic is all I'll say about it. Leaper now pitching to Meacham, and this is his first at-bat of the replay. What an at-bat it would be if he could walk it off here in the bottom of the 12th. 4-7, and that's a single to center field. Don't know if Pagliarulo has enough juice to score. Let's see. He runs at an 11. Not being held makes him a 12. Center fielder is a 0. So it's a 1 to 12. It's a 60% chance you have to send him, right? It's 1 to 12 to score. You have to send him, right? I mean, you can't hold him at third. And, well, if you hold him at third, you got Ricky a chance to. But do you send him, though, is the question. It's a 60% chance, 1 to 12. Grapes says send him. Does anybody else want to chime in? It's a 1 to 12 result. Meacham with 15 speed would take second on the throw if we do send him. So if you do send him and he gets out, you still got a runner at second. So a couple people have said, everybody's saying send him. All right, 1 to 12, and Meacham hits a walk-off single to end the ball game. And it's an 8. He's in there. Scores. Ball game is over. Bobby Meacham, the hero. As he walks it off, Pagliarulo chugs around the bases and scores. And the Yankees walk it off 8-7. And everybody is mobbing Bobby Meacham. All the Yankees are out there mobbing him. Bobby Meacham, the hero of the game. Who would have thunk that? I mean, where is that coming from? Unfortunately, Leaper's error opened the door. And playing the sacrifice, this is the one time I agree with bunting. When you get that winning run in scoring position, there you go. So let's put it in the computer. Single for Meacham, scores Pagliarulo, and the ball game is over, and we'll get to the box score. Ron Guidry gets the win in relief. How about that? He's now 1-0 in his first appearance with the relief outing. He is 1-0. So Guidry, now 1-0. He's going to go 3 innings, give up a hit. So he'll be unavailable for the next game, obviously. And he didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. A masterful outing for Guidry. Leaper deserved a better fate. 2 1/3. 2 hits and a run, which was unearned, but it's his own error that caused it. 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. So Leaper with the loss drops to 2-1. So final line score for the Yankees, 8 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. For the A's, 7 runs, 13 hits, but 3 errors. Fielding was the problem for the A's. It cost them in the end. Yankees improved to 31-16. Oakland drops to 26-20. Player of the game, if you want to give it to Bobby Meacham for sentimental sake, I got no problem with that. Although Alfredo Griffin was 4 for 6 for the A's in a losing cause. But if you want to give it as a sentimental play to Bobby Meacham for his initial game there, why not? So we go to the schedule. Well, first of all, go to the standings. With this win, the Yankees go back into first place all alone, a half game ahead of the Brewers and a game and a half ahead of Toronto. Oakland's loss brings Kansas City within 2.5 games of the lead in the West. So if we look ahead to the next game for tomorrow morning, again, we're trying to go east to west as far as we can with the geography and whatnot. So the next outing, and there's 7 games to be played. So 2 of these I'm going to play offline. 5 are going to be played on the channel, 1 for each day. So the Baltimore-Seattle game I'm going to play offline. So we would normally do Baltimore, but we won't do them. Instead, we'll go north of the border to Toronto. That's the next most east city on the schedule because Boston's on the road. So Toronto will be hosting California. Don Sutton against Dave Steve. Pretty good matchup there. California and Toronto. That'll be tomorrow morning. No game tonight because the World Series is tonight, and we will replay that tomorrow afternoon. And plus, I'm not home tonight, so there won't be any Demolition League game tonight because I won't be here. But kudos also to Ron Guidry for pitching 3 shutout innings. He's another one. But could it possibly get any better than making this guy the player of the game, Bobby Meacham? He did it with a single. Wins the game. And Pagliarulo chugged as hard as he could chug and got around the base pass. So that's going to do it from here. We flipped the page to a new score sheet because I've already used the backside of this score sheet. So we're going to use a brand new score sheet, not this B pad. This is my thing I used to brace on. But we'll get a new score sheet. I probably got to print some more. I think I'm low on score sheets, so I'll probably have to print a few more. And we will have Toronto and California from Exhibition Stadium. That'll be the game tomorrow morning at around 9 o'clock, 9:15, something like that. So thank you all for joining in and spending part of your Monday morning with me. Hope your week is off to a good start. Hope this was entertaining enough to make it a good start to start your day. It's hard to beat Strat and coffee on a Monday morning. It's better than work, I can tell you that. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Yankees win it in 12, 8-7. That is true, Dr. D. Retired is always a good thing.